May I come in, sir?
Yes, please do.
Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, sirs.
Good evening. Please take your seat.
Thank you, sir.
You're Ishita Rathi.
Yes, sir.
Ishita, will English be your preferred medium for interview?
Yes, sir.
Ishita, I hope you have noticed that we have taken many steps when it comes to COVID. And one of the steps is that we have kept your chair at safe distance from any of us. That will make you feel safe, and it will make everybody else also feel safe, right? Another advantage of this arrangement is that if you wish, you could consider removing your mask, considering that you are at a safe distance and you'll be feeling relaxed and the conversation will be better.
Yes, sir.
Would you like to remove your mask?
Yes, sir.
Please do. I hope you're not having any symptoms.
No, sir.
You got your vaccination done?
Sir, first dose.
Okay. Fine then, Ishita, let us start. To begin with, tell us something about you.
Sir, my name is Ishita Rathi. I was born and brought up in Delhi. However, my roots lay in rural Uttar Pradesh. Both my parents are in Delhi Police, which has been a major motivation why I decided to join civil services. I did my graduation in economics from Lady Shri Ram College, Delhi University. I did my post-graduation in economics from Madras School of Economics. I have interest in mentoring and guiding students, and I like to play volleyball in my free time.
So, Ishita, you did your graduation from LSR Delhi. Then you went all the way to Tamil Nadu. Despite there are around 3 central universities in Delhi which teaches economics. Any particular reason for love for Tamil Nadu?
Sir, I looked at the course structure of institutes that were offering economics in masters in Delhi. They were more inclined towards mathematical and statistical aspect of economics. Then I looked at the course structure of Madras School of Economics, and it were offering more analytical, theoretical and interdisciplinary nature of economics. So I decided to join Madras School of Economics.
Good. You have taken economics as your optional.
Yes, sir.
My colleagues will be having questions on economics as experts. But before that, can you tell me, if you look at Delhi is your home state,
Yes.
right? You have claimed Delhi as your home state. If you look at Delhi and Delhi's economy, do you believe that of late the industrial sector, the manufacturing sector, which used to play a very important role at a time, is now fast lingering, and it's Delhi is becoming far more service-based economy?
The service sector contributes around 80% to Delhi's gross state domestic product. And if we look at industry, it contributes around 14 to 15% of gross state domestic product. Delhi has been a very attractive destination for foreign direct investment, particularly in the multinational corporations which are related to more service oriented. So, sir, Delhi is providing infrastructure, it is providing access to more educated as well as skilled workforce. So it is becoming a more attractive destination.
If you leave the economic fallouts of this for a little later discussion, but can you tell me how this aspect, that Delhi is a service sector-led economy, has affected Delhi's society?
Sir, I think Delhi society has become more cosmopolitan in nature. The globalization impact on Delhi can be seen because it is considered as a melting pot of the entire country. We can see people from north, south, east as well as western parts of Delhi coming and working here, adopting the culture as well as cuisine of Delhi. So it is a unique aspect that I consider Delhi, the service sector as well as globalization has bring with it.
Delhi is, historically speaking, Delhi has been center of seat. But all those, the capitals or the seat where the actual power was exercised are on the western bank of Yamuna. Why is it so? Why not the eastern bank of Yamuna?
Sir, I think the western bank of Yamuna is more fertile in nature. So it offers a very...
Western bank of Yamuna is more or less Aravalli. Why will it be more fertile?
Sir, it could be because Delhi is the seat of power. So no kingdom would want to jeopardize its own territory. So it will prefer to fight any war which usually come from the northwestern frontier. So it wants to protect Delhi. Secondly, it provides a even ground, a plain where the cavalry movement, where the movement of army could be facilitated. So I think that is why the western areas are chosen for battles.
Fine, thank you.
So your hobby is what? Volleyball.
Yes.
And you're a student of economics. 30 years we have completed or about to complete of LPG. right? In volleyball, there are four important actually person. One is rager, second is what lifter, third is what smasher, and fourth is serviceman. So in 30 years of economic liberalization, which you consider and who you consider is a rager of Indian economy, who is what lifter of Indian economy, who is what smasher of Indian economy, and finally who is the serviceman throughout 30 years, please.
Sir, in terms of sectors of the economy?
Across all economy.
Sir,
Primary sector, secondary sector, tertiary sector. Better to consider GDP as a whole and then you answer the question. Who is raiser? Who is lifter? Who is a smasher? And who is serviceman?
Sir, I think during the LPG, the more focus is on the service sector. So I would say the smasher as well as the lifter of the economy would be the service sector. Sir, raiser I'm not aware, but lifter could be the service sector which has contributed immensely, as well as the consumption which occupies 55% of the total
Raiser
GDP.
is always common man purchaser, always is. Who is a smasher? What are the obstructions we have faced?
Sir, I think the manufacturing sector could be termed as a smasher.
Okay, my next question, you look new data of in the index of industrial production of May in front of public domain. That is what 29.3% and an increase has been recorded. What is the reason behind such increase in spite of lockdown? May was largely lockdown. In spite of that, look, IIP data 29.3% an increase. What is the explanation?
Sir, I think certain industries have performed better, particularly the public utilities part of the economy.
The sector which has performed better is manufacturing, that is 34.5%.
Yes, sir.
And followed by the mining 23.3%. And then finally what? Electricity 7.5%.
So government has taken
The
very
second important factor is what? The base level. The corresponding base level was very low. May 2000, actually 20 was in minus. And that's why you see this is what? Much rise.
the base effect.
Yes. Next very important question is look to promote investment in gold. Right? We have two type of bonds. One is called sovereign gold bond and the second is called actually golden mutual fund. Golden mutual fund is performing better than sovereign gold bond and that is because of two reasons. One is called portfolio rebalancing, right? And the second is easy to sell. So why gold mutual fund? Portfolio rebalancing is better. Why easy to sell is better than sovereign gold bond? You're a technical person, capital market, that's why I'm asking you a question. Please.
Sir, I'm not aware of the exact reason, but what I can think of is...
Yes, you can make a guess, please.
So people believe that gold is a safe investment and in times
No,
of
both
uncertainty...
investment in gold. Question is what? Sovereign gold bond is not performing as well as gold mutual fund. Why gold mutual fund performing better? Because of portfolio rebalancing is better. Easy to sell is better. My technical question is why? Why do two characteristics applicable on what? Gold mutual fund.
Sir, I have to read about it.
You have not read. Okay. So last question, that is from Muzaffarnagar.
Yes, sir.
Muzaffarnagar economy is transforming itself in last 20 years. What is the basic reason behind transformation of economy of Muzaffarnagar in particular? Right? In general, look Muzaffarnagar, Bagpat and what? Meerut.
So Muzaffarnagar is located in the Delhi NCR region.
Good.
So that could be a reason. And
Yes.
more and more people are getting educated, their aspirations are rising and they want to shift from agriculture towards more value generating and income generating prospects such as industries. So even agripreneurship and entrepreneurship is also flourishing in
Good.
the Muzaffarnagar region.
But another thing is what? The Delhi is what? Geographically, socially saturated. So whatever the thing that would be outspread. And outspreading, the magnet is what? Very strong magnet is Muzaffarnagar. That's why catching more. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Ishita,
Yes, sir.
can you comment on a statement that the seeds of liberalization are found in the Constitution of India, particularly Article 19?
Sir, Article 19 gives various kind of freedom to people, including the freedom of profession. So people are free to enter into any profession and through liberalization, more and more sectors are being opened to the private sector to come and invest in those areas. So that is the basic thing.
That's correct. How do you relate Article 21 and Article 51 of the Constitution of India?
Sir, Article 21 talks about liberty of life, and Article 51 talks about the adherence to the international conventions that we have signed over the years. Sir, India has signed very many conventions, including the Convention of Human Rights, etc. So that could be linked to Article 21.
So do you think globalization is also a strengthening right to freedom of life and liberty? Or has globalization made the life of the people of India more difficult and challenging?
Sir, I think globalization has had a positive impact overall. If we see that the poverty rates in India has fallen since globalization, we have lifted around 270 million people out of poverty. Secondly, women empowerment has been given an impetus because of the coming of globalization. And globalization has brought with it a lot of foreign direct investment, which is providing people the right to livelihood, which is an essential part of right to life.
Which part of the Constitution deals with cooperatives?
Sir, DPSP deals with cooperatives, the Gandhian DPSPs.
Any other part which is independently titled as cooperative?
Sir, it is also included as a fundamental right through a constitutional amendment.
Have you read about Part 9B?
Sorry, sir, I'm forgetting.
Okay. The government has recently created a Ministry of Cooperation. What are the objectives behind creating this ministry?
So the Ministry of Cooperation seeks to provide administrative, legal framework for the cooperatives to flourish. Cooperatives are very good medium for inclusive growth, as we have seen from the example of Amul. But the success of Amul has failed to materialize in other sectors as well. So in order to lift other sectors, government has come out with the Ministry of Cooperatives.
Do you consider that the farm producer organizations are also based on the concept of cooperatives?
Yes, sir. I think farmer producer organization is also based on the concept of cooperatives, because cooperatives is a group of people who collectively own and run the business and ensure that they achieve a common goal. So farmer producer organization also seeks to do that.
Okay, my final question. Though your roots are in UP, your second preference is in cadre selection is Haryana.
Yes, sir.
Why do you have this preference for Haryana and not UP?
Sir, I think in Haryana there is a lot of scope for improvement. Apart from UP also, we can have intervention in tackling patriarchy as well as the skewed sex ratio that exists there. So these provide a lot of scope for intervention.
Okay, thank you, Ishita.
Thank you, sir.
Ishita, you are from Delhi.
Yes, sir.
Who is the founder of Delhi?
Sir, Angpal Tomar, in the 11th century, he founded and laid the seed of Delhi as the first capital.
Okay. Recently, our central government is trying to glorify the legacy of Angpal Tomar.
Yes, sir.
And they are saying that they want to correct history. Are you aware of that?
Sorry, sir, I'm not aware of this particular Delhi.
No idea? Okay. Have you ever visited any cultural monument in Delhi?
Yes, sir.
Please tell us.
So the first city of Delhi, which was known as Lal Kot, established by Angpal Tomar, was done in the Mehrauli Badarpur area from which I belong. So there are very many monuments there. After the second battle of the Rain, we could see that the slave dynasty established their capital in the Lal Kot, and they built monuments such as Qutub Minar. So I visited that also. Sir, later, Khilji dynasty in the 13th century, they established a new city known as Siri, which is today located near the Firoz Shah Kotla. After that, Tughlaqabad is also a historic site.
Okay. There are many monuments in Qutub complex.
Yes, sir.
Could you name some of them?
Sir, I can recall only Qutub Minar right now. I've seen the monuments, but I don't know the names.
Okay. You have studied in DAV public school.
Yes, sir.
What is the role of Arya Samaj in the field of education?
Sir, Arya Samaj was a revivalist movement. So it seeks to provide moral education to students in order to ensure that they live a life of value.
You are just guessing. You are not.
Sir, there are 10 niyams of Arya Samaj. So through that, the moral education is provided. We also had a subject known as Ved Path. It also seeks to provide moral education based on Arya Samaj principles.
Okay. Recently, Russia has decided for de-dollarization.
Sorry, sir, I have not.
No idea. Okay. Your mother and father both in Delhi police.
Yes, sir.
Why police services is not your first choice?
Sir, I think both the Indian administrative as well as police service are doing great service to the society. But I think my skills as an economist will be better utilized if I join Indian administrative services. Besides that, it provides a very diverse field to work in. It will help in bringing dynamism to my life. Also, I will be able to experience a lot many things. And my experience as a mentor has also helped me in honing my communication skills. It has made me more approachable and friendly. So I think a more people participatory in implementation can be done if I become an Indian administrative officer.
Okay, last question from my side, Ishita. Suppose you got selection and you are given a personal assistant. Okay, you have to choose one. You have two options. One is male and other is female. Both are equally competent, equal in all parameters. With whom you would like to go?
Sir, if I'm choosing a personal assistant, then my equation with the personal assistant would be very much important. So I would see which person matches my own thinking. So I will choose that. So I will give preference to first merit, and if merit is equal within both of the candidates, then I will select my own personal choice based on my understanding and matching of frequencies.
Okay, thank you, Ishita.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Ishita, since I think, as you mentioned, you consider you're an economist, you relate to being an economist more than you relate to other things. So if you were the chief economist or economic advisor of our country, and if you had to revive the economy, looking at the current state of economy, what would be 3 steps you would take to revive the economy?
Ma'am, in the short run, I think revival of consumption can help in lifting the GDP. So I will focus on the rural segment because the marginal propensity of consumption of rural people is more. So I will focus there. Secondly, I will focus on manufacturing because going forward, we need nearly 55 to 60 lakh jobs annually, and manufacturing offers a very fertile ground in which we can utilize our demographic dividend. Along with that, focusing on infrastructure building as the government is doing, so better implementation of that can help in reviving the economy.
Do you think government should print more money?
Ma'am, I don't support printing more money because it creates a lot of inflation and erodes the purchasing power of people. And it also can lead to depreciation of currency and can create current account deficit.
Do you support that we should have helicopter money to increase consumption? As you said, we should increase consumption. So what is your idea about the concept of helicopter money?
No, ma'am, I don't support helicopter money. The reason being that targeting in the helicopter money will be very inefficient and it will lead to more harm than good in the economy.
Can you suggest an alternate?
Ma'am, we can do targeted direct benefit transfer to people. We can reinvigorate and finance Manrega as well as come out with urban employment guarantee programs. So that will help in putting more money in the hands of people.
Okay, Ishita, since you're from Delhi, name a few slum areas in Delhi.
Ma'am, there are slums in Saket, Tughlakabad. I don't know the exact names, ma'am.
It's okay. Do you know how these slums contribute to economy of Delhi? Can you think of how slums will contribute to economy of Delhi in case you don't know?
Ma'am, I think slum provides very cheap labor and the street vendors etc. which are providing the home-based services, they come also from the slum areas, and it gives a lot of scope for the government to intervene, create infrastructure, and through that we can create more employment. So that is how slum can contribute.
Okay, since you come from a girls' college, tell me, don't you think this is also gender inequality to have an exclusive girls' college?
Ma'am, my college was established in 1950s. Then the higher education prospects for girls were very limited, as well as the prevalence of patriarchy as the social structure is such that they put barriers to the access to education in co-ed school back then. But now I think a more level playing field has been created, so there are no reasons to create exclusive government schools, and there is a lot of social change that has occurred over time.
Okay. Ishita, when our parents slap us at home, be it mother, father, sometimes brother, we find it okay. Why is it not okay if a husband slaps me? Why should that not be okay then?
Ma'am, I think violence should not be tolerated if it is done even in the domestic sphere also. So when we are children, sometimes punishment is given to us. But when we grow up and we marry someone as equals, then in that case, tolerating violence it's not something that we should promote.
Okay, since you want to work in Haryana, I'm sure you have already mentioned about the skewed sex ratio in Haryana. Let's say I put you in a situation where you are the DM of the district and there is a family that has 6 girls as children and they have the 7th one, they're expecting the 7th one. How would you convince them to keep the 7th one and not kill her?
Ma'am, there are very many government schemes that are running to support the girl child. So I will make them aware about these government schemes. Secondly, I will tell them about the role models that they can look towards to. Since Haryana is a state where very many athletes, particularly girl athletes, have come forward. So they should provide them the capital, necessary capital, and they can also do wonders.
My last question is, can you name a few girl athletes or maybe women who have recently won in Olympics?
So Geeta Kumari Phogat is one. Her sister, Babita Kumari Phogat.
Recent ones.
Ma'am, Saina Nehwal. She's also from Haryana.
Okay.
Ishita,
Yes, sir.
Ishita, we are in the middle of ongoing raging pandemic. And if you look at the international relations vis-a-vis pandemic, there's a strange thing that's very clearly observed, is that the countries where the popular leaders, where the vocal leaders, where the strong considered leaders were in power, they perform badly when it comes to pandemic. Be it Brazil, the erstwhile US, to some extent even India. While nations which were being led by either women or leaders who were compassionate, not really the most strong or most popular leaders, they did exceedingly well when it comes to controlling the pandemic. Do you see a relationship in the leadership style and the controlling the pandemic? And if yes, why is it so that the strong leaders failed miserably?
Sir, I have not looked at it from that perspective, but it is a very interesting perspective that you have provided. One reason I can think of is that more popular leaders have more sway over the population. A more consultative approach might not be adopted by them, whereas those leaders who have adopted more consultative approach, who have taken the advice of experts as well as the local leaders as well in handling the pandemic, have done exceedingly well. So that could be one reason.
If we remain on that area and come to talk about our own polity, do you believe that changing the health minister, union health minister by the current government indicates that government is accepting that it failed in handling the pandemic well?
Sir, it is an internal political decision that the government has taken. But if the government feels that a more qualified and a person who can handle the situation better needs to be on the chair of health ministry, then it might be better.
Can you please compare the two previous health minister with the present one?
Sorry, sir, I'm not aware about the current
Which effectively
qualifications.
means that actually that is very unlikely to be the reason. Dr. Harshvardhan was a medical professional, was health minister earlier, held many portfolios, similar portfolios earlier as well. While the new health minister, neither you know nor us.
So the public's confidence is very important in the ministry. So there might be that because of the second wave and the mishandling that have happened in the early stages of the second wave, people might have lost the confidence in the...
Not just the confidence, but people have lost lives as well. Then why just health minister? Higher heads should roll.
So health ministry was at the forefront of tackling pandemic because it was essentially a health issue to begin with. And later it translated into a more economic issues. So that is why, sir, maybe.
Okay, Ishita, before we let you go, can you tell us, to you, what is the highest, the biggest risk you have taken in your life?
So going to Madras, going to Tamil Nadu, to a southern state which is completely unfamiliar to me, and I have no one whom I knew. So that could be one big risk that I have taken. Apart from that, I always weigh my options very carefully before taking decisions.
Fine, Ishita, it was nice talking to you.
Thank you, sir.
Your interview is over. You can go now.
Thank you, sir. May I come in, sir?
Yes, please do. Take your seat, Ishita. Tell me, how was it? What are the areas you believe that are going well, and where you believe that maybe a little improvement is required?
Sir, it is very difficult to address everyone, looking at everyone while answering the question. I get distracted. And sir, in the starting, I was a little confused. So starting few questions did not go well. But I could have performed better. And I need to improve my knowledge base.
Ishita, there are Very few suggestions I have to give, because you are definitely a very, very good candidate. You have taken economy as your optional, which is in a sense is daring. It's very good, and board members will be very, very eager to have interaction with you, and they'll be very happy interacting economy with you, and you are well prepared for that, which is also good. Also, you have studied from nice institutions, both Madras one and LSR, so that is also reflecting well in your personality. So overall, you carry wonderful personality. Your entry is good. Sitting posture by and large is okay. I'm not commenting on attire, assuming that you will be wearing something else on that day, right? What do you plan to wear?
Sir, sari.
Okay, I mean, you can take a call on that. My advice is that it should be the one that suits the occasion. That's the idea. Your hand movement is by and large restricted, which is good. Yes, on the eye contact front, see, it's not your mistake. You're actually, unfortunately, badly advised. That's what you're trying to see. You need to understand how difficult it is to try and have eye contact with everyone, to look at everyone. You have just a set of eyes, right? And the most natural way of looking at while conversation is to look at the person you're talking to. This is such a simple thing. I don't know who. I mean, I've been doing it for 2 decades now. And I've been doing it on media as well as otherwise. I've been advising it since long. See, it's the best communication is the one which is most relaxed. सबसे सहज communication सबसे अच्छा होता है. You're getting my point? And सहज क्या है? Look at the person you're talking to. If possible, look in the eyes of the person you're talking to, because that builds trust.
Yes, sir.
If I'm talking to you and giving this advice, looking there, I will not have your trust. Similarly, if you're talking to me and looking there, you will not have my trust. So the best way is look at the person you're talking to. Don't try to achieve something which is unachievable. It's creating actually obstacles in the communication. You getting my point?
Yes.
You agree with that? I mean, ultimately it's going to be your call, but this is the advice I've been giving for many, many years, and it has worked. I've taken around 2000 interviews. I've not come across a single candidate who can do this oscillating eye contact and still claim that the interview was good, right? There have been many who tries it. It cannot be achieved, right? Other things, by and large, very good. There are a few areas in content though. One is that I'm not really very happy looking at you talking about Delhi. You're talking about Delhi from distance. That connect which generally the Dalaites have with Delhi is somehow missing. So it's not just about knowledge. Yes, it is about knowledge as well, but otherwise also. Know your city well and show that kind of affiliation. Why? Because whenever Delhi is discussed in the board, which eventually will be because it is so home state, there will be at least 2-3 members in the board who will feel about Delhi, right? It can be because of Delhi's food, it can be because of Delhi's culture, monuments, whatever. And they will believe that is the most important aspect of Delhi. And they would like to discuss it with you. You too should get into the wavelength with them. So for that you should show that you are affiliated with the place. You like the place, right? Right now it is appearing as if, oh, ye bhi karna tha. That kind of stuff. So that is one area I want you to. Economy, discussing economics is generally good with you. I mean, it's been comfortable with you and you appears to be comfortable. Other things, at a few places it appears the smile that came in the last should have been there earlier as well, right? So that will make an interview a little bit more livelier, which will be in your favor, right? So smile wherever it is necessary, not at wrong places, but wherever it is necessary. Other things usually good. I don't have much suggestions to make actually. On the content front, by and large, you're doing good. On the communication front, these were the few things you need to work on. Other things are already very good, right? All the best.
Thank you, sir.